Have you ever had a brilliant idea, a dream you were desperate to chase, but found yourself stuck? Not because you lacked motivation, but because a tiny voice in your head kept whispering, "What if you mess it up?" This is the story of Richard, a young man with a mind full of dreams and a heart full of doubt. He wasn't lazy or uninspired. He was simply paralyzed by fear. Every time an opportunity knocked a new job application, a chance to speak his mind, or even just striking up a conversation, that nagging voice would get louder. What if it all goes wrong? What if you fail spectacularly? What if you're just not ready yet? So Richard did what felt safest. He waited. He told himself he was just planning, preparing, strategizing. But in reality, he was just waiting. And as he waited, he watched as one opportunity after another slipped through his fingers like sand. He was waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect version of himself, not realizing that perfection is a finish line that doesn't exist. He was so caught up in the idea of starting that he never actually started. His notebook remained blank. His dreams remained dreams, and life, well, life was happening all around him, just not to him. One Tuesday morning, Richard's phone buzzed, displaying a message that made his heart pound. "Final call for your interview." This wasn't just any interview. It was for his dream company, the one he had fantasized about working for since college. He had spent the entire morning in a state of self-inflicted torment. He'd tried on 3 different shirts, rehearsed his answers until his voice was hoarse, and mapped out every possible way the conversation could go wrong. He was so consumed with the fear of messing up that he lost track of the one thing that truly mattered: time. By the time he finally convinced himself he was ready, that he had the perfect outfit and the perfect opening line, it was too late. He glanced at the clock, and a cold wave of realization washed over him. The interview slot had passed. He had missed it. In that moment, staring at his own reflection in the dark screen of his phone, the silence was deafening. The feeling that hit him was far worse than any failure he could have imagined. Because failure, at its core, is a lesson. It's feedback. It tells you what didn't work, so you can try something different next time. But the agony of overthinking, it teaches you nothing. It's a void. It's the pain of a battle you never even fought, the sting of a race you never ran. Richard hadn't failed the interview. He had failed to even show up. He had let his fear of a hypothetical failure create a very real one. That single, missed opportunity felt like a door slamming shut, not because of his inability, but because of his inaction. Later that evening, seeking some fresh air to clear his head, Richard found himself at a local park. He sat on a bench, still replaying the morning's disaster. That's when he noticed a little kid, no older than 6, waddling on a bright red bicycle. The child's father was jogging alongside, offering words of encouragement. The kid pushed the pedals, gained a little speed, and then, inevitably, tipped over, landing softly on the grass. Richard braced himself for tears, for a tantrum, for the kid to give up. But what happened next stopped him in his tracks. The child simply giggled, scrambled back to his feet, brushed the grass off his knees, and got right back on the bike. No hesitation, no second-guessing, no what-ifs. It was a simple, everyday moment. But for Richard, it was a profound revelation. The kid wasn't afraid of falling because he instinctively knew that falling was part of the process. He didn't see falling as failure. He saw it as a step towards riding. His focus wasn't on avoiding the fall, but on the joy of eventually succeeding. It struck Richard with the force of a lightning bolt. He had been so focused on being perfect, on never falling, that he had forgotten the most important part: you have to get back up. He didn't need to have all the answers. He didn't need to be flawless. He just needed to start. He needed to be willing to fall, to laugh it off, and to try again. The very next morning, something inside Richard had shifted. He woke up not with a sense of dread, but with a quiet determination. He decided to take one small, imperfect step. He didn't try to conquer the world. He just opened that blank notebook and wrote down one idea. Just one dot. It wasn't perfect, but it was on paper. It was real. Then he took another step. He updated his resume and sent out an application not to his dream company, but to a company. He just clicked send. In a team meeting at his current job, when a question was asked, he felt the familiar knot of fear in his stomach. But this time, instead of staying silent, he spoke up. His voice wavered a little, but he said what he was thinking. It wasn't a magical transformation. There were days he stumbled. He got rejection emails. He said awkward things in conversations. He made mistakes. But here was the crucial difference. Every single time he took action, even when it didn't go as planned, he felt a little stronger. He learned that clarity isn't something you find by sitting and thinking. It's something you create through action. The more you move, the more you learn about the path. The more you do, the more you understand what you're capable of. You don't think your way into a new way of acting. You act your way into a new way of thinking. Each small step, each tiny failure, was building a foundation of resilience and self-trust. Several months passed. Richard's life hadn't been turned upside down overnight, but it was steadily, surely, changing. He was no longer a bystander in his own life. He was an active participant. Then, one afternoon, an email notification popped up. The subject line made his heart skip a beat. "Congratulations on your offer." It wasn't the dream company from before, but it was an incredible opportunity, one he had earned through his consistent, imperfect actions. He got the job, not because he had finally eliminated his fear. The fear was still there, a quiet hum in the background, but because he had learned to act despite it. He had stopped letting fear hold the steering wheel. Now, whenever Richard hears someone say, "I'd love to do that, but I'm still thinking about it," or "I'm just waiting for the right time," a gentle smile plays on his lips. He knows that thought process all too well, and he always offers the same piece of wisdom. Learned the hard way: don't think so long that life moves on without you. He learned that the greatest risk isn't failing, it's standing still while the world keeps turning. Remember this: overthinking kills more dreams than failure ever will. So many of us are waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect moment, the flawless strategy. But the truth is, that perfect starting line is a mirage. The real magic happens when you take that first, messy, imperfect step. Progress doesn't begin when you have all the answers. It begins the moment you stop asking what if, and start saying let's do it. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content that helps you build a life of action. What's one small step you can take today? Let us know in the comments below.